Hello everyone, I am Sweksha Sharma and you are watching Law Putra YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing the differences between two main schools under Hindu law, that is Mitakshara and Dayabhaga. First, let's discuss about the origin of Hindu law. The source of Hindu law is the Smriti written by the great Sanskrit scholars like Manu, Yagnavalkya, Vishnu, Narad, etc. One of the most prominent of these Smritis is the Manu Smriti and the Yagnavalkya Smriti. As we know, the Hindu law later gets bifurcated into two different schools. One is Mitakshara and the other one is the Dayabhaga. These two schools are mainly observed for the succession, inheritance, or to know how a property will be devolved into a joint Hindu property. Schools of Hindu law are considered as the commentaries and the digestives of the Smriti. These schools have a widened scope of Hindu law and explicitly contributed to its development. Before coming into the major basis of their differences, it's very important for us to know the interpretation and the applicability of these schools all over the country. Mitakshara was interpreted by the Vijneshwara, a scholar in the Western Chalukya court in the late 11th century. And this school is applicable to the whole part of India except the state of West Bengal and Assam. There are 5 sub-schools of Mitakshara. They are Banaras, Mithila, Bombay, Dravid and Punjab. These law schools fall under the ambit of Mitakshara Law School only and enjoy the equal norms as the Mitakshara schools follows. They enjoy the same fundamental principle but differ in certain circumstances. It is considered as one of the most important influential school of Hindu law, whereas Dayabhaga, it was interpreted by Jimut Vahan and it only prevails in the state of West Bengal and Assam. Dayabhaga was formulated with a view of eradicating all the absurd principles of inheritance. The immediate benefit of the new digest is that it tends to take off all the shortcoming and limitation of the previously accepted principle and inclusion of many cognates in their list of heirs, which was restricted by the Mitakshara school. Dayabhaga school, various other commentaries were followed, such as Dayatatya, Daya Karma Sangrah, Virmityodaya, and Dattaka Chandrika. There is a very famous case law, that is Rohan versus Lakshman. It was held that the effect of Mitakshara is that much strong that it is even applied to some part of Assam and to the West Bengal. The very first basis of their difference is the joint family, who are the co-partners and the member involved in the development of the property. In Mitakshara school, son, grandson and the great-grandson are known as the co-partners. Now here, what is the word co-partner means? A co-partner is a person who shares equally with other in the inheritance of an undivided estate. So these 3 generations are considered as the co-partners of the joint Hindu property. Here in this school, there is no female involved as a co-partner until the amendment of 2005. The very important point under Mitakshara school is that here son by birth acquires the right over the ancestral property. On the other hand, there is no co-partnership right in the Dayabhaga school. Here, property gets devolved only after the death of the father. Moving to the next basis of their differences, that is interest in property, which says what share does the co-partners will have after the division of the property. In the Mitakshara school, it's keep fluctuating and the uncertainty of the interest or the share in the property prevails, but not in case of Dayabhaga school. Here, interest is of equal, that is, if a person has 2 sons, the property will be divided equally to those 2 sons. That is 50% will be given to the first son and rest of the 50% will be given to the another son. Then comes the doctrine of survivorship. What this doctrine speaks about. Before 2005, according to this doctrine, the brothers were considered as the co-partners and not the son, daughter or the widower of the deceased. But after the amendment of 2005, the son, daughter and widower of the deceased were given the co-partnery right and not the brothers. According to the Mitakshara school, they followed the doctrine of survivorship, but after 2005, the devolvement of property was done either by the testamentary, that is by the will, or by in-estate, that is without will. If we look into the Dayabhaga school, it do not recognize any doctrine of survivorship because here the property devolved by the inheritance of the heir and only after the death of the father. Coming to the status of women in these two schools, Mitakshara school, which is widely accepted and followed one, do not consider female as a co-partners. She has no right in the joint Hindu property. But soon after the amendment of 2005, certain changes were brought. Daughters were given the equal right and they enjoyed the right by birth in the same manner as the son. But here also a condition applies, which says that the daughter supposed to be a true daughter of the family. That is, the daughter-in-law of the family will not be considered as the co-partners. On the other hand, if you look, the Dayabhaga school says female cannot be part of co-partners, but after the death of their husband, she'll succeed to the property. She'll get the property but as a legal heir, but not as a co-partner. Another basis of their difference is the unity of possession. What is the meaning of unity of possession stands here? It just speaks about how far a person have got the right over the property which he or she will be getting after the division of the property. In Mitakshara school, one is born with the property, that is, he acquires the right over the property from the birth itself. He can separate his interest by filing suit, but in Dayabhaga school, nothing such happens. Here, no one can say that such property will fall to his share as they do not have any exclusive possession of the property. In Mitakshara school, son can file a suit of partition against father as he is born with the right over the property. But in Dayabhaga, son has no right to claim partition against the father. Here, father has got the right to dispose of the property by various methods that can be by sale, by gift or by will. Dayabhaga school speaks about the unlimited and ultimate power of the father for disposing of the property, which Mitakshara school do not speaks.